Welcome back to Arizona Gearheads. Today we're going to start a new project. We're going to update, rebuild my 1955 Ford Fairlane four-door town car. This is an original car. It has 44,000 miles on it. It is rust-free. It has all the badges and insignia are on the car. It's really in pretty good shape. It has the original 272 Y-block engine and a 3 transmission. Paint looks pretty good from 10 feet, but we'll get a closer look at it later and you'll see that it is pretty faded and will probably need to be changed. This will be a multi-part effort as we go through rebuilding this car. I'm going to start with the front suspension and go back through the entire car, including an engine change, transmission change, a rear end change, interior paint, the whole deal. So we'll follow along and we'll make some mistakes along the way as we go, and I hope you learn a little bit about how to do this and a whole lot about how not to do it. Now, I am not an expert. I'm just your average gearhead with a very small budget, a small garage, and a lot of desire to get this job done. So if I can help you along the way, so be it. But be warned, I do not always do everything by the book, so do not necessarily follow what I do, and I cannot accept any liability for damage to your vehicle or your body. So without further ado, let's take a look at the car and see what the challenges that lie ahead happen to be. So here we go. This is our 55. You can see that it's really a pretty complete car. All the badges are there. The chrome work is very good. Has these really nice spiffy original Ford hubcaps on it. The glass is pretty good. I have a couple that will need to be replaced. Has dual exhaust. Woohoo! Boy, that's something that I'm not going to have to change. We'll save a few dollars there. Badges on the back end all look pretty great. Round to this side, I have one very tiny little dent in the car right here. And it's just a little bitty thing about the size of a nickel. Other than that, the car sheet metal is really pretty good. I have a cracked window on the passenger side, but she all looks pretty decent. The interior, well, that's another story. So what we have in the interior, we have your basic hot rod seat covers in it. It does have an air conditioner in it, the status of which I do not know. In the center hole down there is where the radio goes. I actually have two of them, so I do have that to put back in, but since the dash is coming out anyway, I elected not to do it. The floors, all the sheet metal floors, there isn't a speck of rust anywhere. Same goes for the trunk. Very clean. The wheel well, spare tire well is very clean. Front end, all the badges are there. Look at this chrome work. Not bad for a barn find. This is a barn find, by the way. It was found in a barn with two 1941 Ford Coupes. So here we have, I don't know how well this will show up on the film. This is your basic Y-block, 2-barrel. It runs okay, but I'm not going to rebuild it. I have a 302 Ford HO that I'm going to put in it and a T5. So that's what she looks like. She's going to get power brakes along the way, new suspension. Overall, really a pretty good car. Well, there you have it, gearheads. It looks pretty easy, doesn't it? But I can assure you that there will be many challenges along the way. Some of them we will start and fail and have to do over and over again, but for the most part, we'll be careful, try to do the job right the first time. Even the best unrestored vehicle is a difficult project and it's something big to take on. But I can assure you, if I can do this, you can do this. It is not difficult. It is just a piece of mechanical equipment. It requires patience and a few basic tools. I don't have a welder. I don't weld. I just use hand tools and power tools, and I think we'll be able to do this entire job with just those tools. This brings us to the subject of part one, which is going to be a total rebuild of the front suspension of this car. I'm going to take the sheet metal off the front. You'll see this a little bit later when we get into part one, and I'm going to rebuild the entire Ford IFS front suspension, including power brakes, power brake booster, all new parts, ball joints, bushings, and I'll try to show you the correct way to do this along the way. And finally, JFK said in his famous moon speech at Rice University in the early 1960s that we choose to do things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. So gearheads, if you're willing to follow along with me, let's get her done.